O.Kirukhin, I just noticed, landed a very stiff through the forehead of J.Tomas. It's jarred the head completely back there, so I'm sure that would have catched the judge's eyes.
Once again, nice punches from O.Kirukhin of the Ukraine in the blue. Yes, this has come far too early for this French teenager.
He's still putting up some competition. I mean, he's there still. I mean, obviously the last two rounds, no scores, so possibly at the end of the round would not be that much significant if he finds himself behind.
Yes, and it could be 0-0 right up until the 5th round, and suddenly the judges fancy scoring a point for this French kid, and suddenly we've got an upset.
Exactly.
All the while, of course, the computer whirring away, trying to make sense of these button presses by the judges. A task we've said many times before, much more suited to 13 and 14-year-old boys.
Also, I noted the warning to, I believe it was the Ukraine's corner, which could be detrimental to the boxer also, because if it's persistent warning, then a point is taken away.
Absolutely, yes. A corner can be dismissed, and that costs the boxer. Well, that's interesting. They've gone 2-1 now in favour of Kirukhin. No doubt about the score reflecting the man who's in front. So 48 kilograms, and this the light flyweight division, and that's pretty light, isn't it?
It's very light. A little big man.
Under 8 stone, 7'10", I do believe, isn't it?
Oh yes, I think. 106 pounds, to be precise. This was my old Olympic teammate's weight, Rowan Williams.
Oh yes, old Rowan, from Birmingham.
Yes, he was the 48 kilograms representative of Great Britain.
Round 3. Sorry, round 4. The score's there after round 3, 2-1. And are we looking, do you think, at the gold medalist here in this lad in blue? He's got some quality, hasn't he?
Yes, he has the maturity, but Thomas, he's still in there. I mean, he came out this round emphasizing the authority. He's using his jab very effectively, and he's working both the body and the head. Obviously a very determined young man.
I think we've not seen the best yet of Kirukhin by a long way. I think he's doing enough to win, and as we've said before, there is a slight dilemma there for these boxers. They don't want to do too much and wear themselves out when they're fighting again in a day's time. Equally, they don't want to do anything reckless and get themselves injured, but they've still got to do enough to win.
They certainly do. And obviously with the more stringent rules now with injuries, that the boxer could be eliminated from the tournament, I'm sure they'll be quite cautious. But the last 16, it's everything on the line now, so everyone will be looking at a possible medal prospect.
That's right.
Good right-hand land.
Winners here, of course, are in for a minimum of a bronze medal, because it means a place in the semi-final. And that's big money.
A lovely exchange of combination from both boxers. They're both landing. They're both trying to establish the dominant one over the other.
I think I should explain what I just said about being big money. I don't mean these lads are getting paid for achieving medal status here in these European Championships. What I mean is, if they are contemplating a professional career, being a bronze medalist in the European Championship is worth more when you join the pro ranks than, say, being someone who came 5th or 6th. Right?
Most certainly. This round we just saw a very furious exchange with both boxers. They're very competitive in that round.
Yep, 5-2 now to Kirukhin.
He has been doing boxing for 13 years, since 1985.
Having a little bit of a personal profile in between rounds from the announcer. A little bit of difference from when I was doing it.
Championship in 1993.
Again, Tomas landed 2 clear punches right there. A little bit on the downer. He didn't get a point for that.
Well, we've got 1 round to go then. We've had 4, and it's 5-2 now to Kiruyukin. There he is. And he looks a racing certainty for a place in the semis, doesn't he?
Round 5.
So round 5 then. This is the last chance for J.Tomas to make... Oops, a daisy. That was a bit of a stumble. Did he take a whack on the chin, I wonder?
A little bit of the WWF.
Obviously not.
Tomas came out this round. He seems very intent of trying to, you know, level that score, or at least try to get ahead.
Yes, trying to knock Kiruyukin out of his stride here.
Yes. So far, a very spirited effort from Tomas. Whether it be now when the final bell rings, it's a different story.
Oh, nice right hand, left hook then from Oleg.
Very often, you know, I always appreciated the competition from the lower weight classes. It's always a very active, you know, division where they throw a lot of punches.
But everyone wants to see the heavyweights, don't they?
Yes, everybody wants to see the knockout, the
All
KO.
the best boxing comes lower down the scale, but, well, I suppose the drama comes with the heavyweights, doesn't it?
Yes, it certainly does.
Because when they hit the floor, they hit the floor. I remember one of the biggest stars in Atlanta, Per Wolfgram. Do you remember him, the big Tongan? Massive fella.
Oh, yes, oh, yes. Created a sensation for a while.
Absolutely.
So far, the Ukraine, he's getting through with some very effective shots, as you just saw there. He landed a beautiful right uppercut.
It's a very technical boxer, and not unattractive as well. It's a good stylist. Right at the beginning we said he was a good stylist. And there's only a few seconds left now in this final round for Tomas to land what he needs, which is a knockout punch.
Kiruyukin, certainly one to watch in the middle rounds now. Barring the unexpected, that is.
So there it is then. Good effort from the Frenchman, but surely, yep, there we are. 9-2 now, at the end of 5 rounds in favour of Oleg Kiruyukin. Then, bit of a pity there that little J.Tomas didn't get a single point on the board
After the first round.
For 2 rounds.
Yes. But
the final 2 rounds were his best rounds, and he didn't pick up a single point. That's a pity.
But I'm sure he's got everything ahead of him. He's 19 years old. He's got many European championships if he so chooses to do so. And would it be a good experience for him?
Yep. So there you are then, 9-2. Oleg Kiruyukin of the Ukraine declared the winner, and a pretty handy winner as well, I think.
Possible gold medalist in Kiruyukin.
Yeah.
Both pair of boxers is requested to the ring. Marian Delecour and Sergei Kazakov.
Still to come then, we've got the Irishman, E.McEneaney, in action against A.Guevorkian of Armenia. And that's going to be a fascinating contest. We advise you, E.McEneaney, nice boxer. We saw him yesterday. He's won 40 of his 60 bouts, twice a national champion, and looking to do well here. 26 years of age now. So there's lightweight quarter-final for a place in the semis. This is where it all counts, isn't it, Adrian?
Yes, it certainly does. And both of these boxers have very lyrical-sounding names.
They do.
McEneaney and Guevorkian. Does he have any relations to Dr. Guevorkian?
That's a very good question. We hope not. So round 1 then of the scheduled 5, and this Irish southpaw has got chances here. Let's just see who develops the edge early on. E.McEneaney looking to do well for Ireland. Just tell you how many qualifiers Ireland had. Looking down my list, they had 3.
Guevorkian, he looks extremely, very strong, very stylish. Got that beautiful right hand to the body he just threw there.
Yes, he's going to be dangerous. One of 8 qualifiers for Armenia.
looked very experienced also.
Can you name two famous Armenians?
Well, the only one I can remember his name was A.Guevorkian, which was the European as well as the world champion.
Well, that's three then. Bit of a very pensive start here by both men, not wishing to make a mistake. That's that body shot again. But of course we found so often that body punches just don't count in amateur boxing anymore. Don't expect to see too many points on the table after this first round. This is a real chess match, isn't it?
Yes, it is. Both stylists, both trying to look for the opening.
Oh, that's a nice right hook from McEneaney.
And again, we're watching a southpaw versus an orthodox. It presents some difficulties for both fighters on occasion.
Oh, that's nice work from Eugene. And he's adapted well here. Completely different fight to his previous bout in the, what do they call it, the 8th finals rather than the quarterfinals. Completely different opponent. Completely new set of problems to solve. Of course, the same goes for Guevorkian. Well, the end of round, very, very hard to pick between them. Well, that's the perfect score, I suppose.
It reflects the round itself. But like other contests we've been looking at, it starts out that way, and the competition and the action slowly heats up.
So let's just see a bit of replay here from round one. Guevorkian going forward there, but McEneaney just a bit too nimble on his feet, taking him out of harm's way. There was a couple of nice punches, I thought, from Eugene McEneaney in round one.
In a way, also, I guess due to the added pressure of the scoring, the way in which the method it's used to score, it's taken away some of the other abilities of some of these boxers, because I'm quite certain, you know, they have a variety of way of boxing, but in essence of trying to get a scored shot, they've adapted a certain way of fighting.
So round two then, and well, interestingly, McEneaney they came straight out and whacked Guevorkian. And of course the Irish set a great standard in 1992 with Wayne McCulloch and Michael Carruth. Carruth, of course, a gold medalist for Ireland the first time since 1956.
They also had a very good results in the 1991 European Championship in Paul Griffin, I believe.
Absolutely, gold medalist Griffin, of course.
Again, both boxers are very tentative, trying to look for that one clean shot. Although Guevorkian seems to be the one who's willing to take the more risk at this moment.
Yes, but McEneaney actually looks to be the man who's adopted the role of being the governor. He's not going to be pushed around by Guevorkian. And they've obviously said go and take the centre of the ring and be the boss, and that's what he's trying to do here.
Yes, and they both would have been advised that they're both level at this moment.
That's a nice shot again from McEneaney. Lovely right hook.
Good technical skill from both combatants here.
But McEneaney looks to be getting the edge, doesn't he?
Yes. And the game's all about landing. And right now, neither seems to be very effective at that.
I'd be a little surprised if McEneaney hasn't got a point on the board at the end of this round. But only a little. Well, that's the bell to end round two. Let's see how they've scored it. Well, there you are. Oh, one each. Okie dokie, one each after 2 rounds. Let me remind you about these odds. Here we are then. Eugene McEneaney, as we watch a bit of replay. McEneaney 40 wins in 60 outings. Twice national champion, trained by Denali Anthony and Harry Hokins. He's a porter by trade and likes fishing in his spare time, and that's all right with me.
Yeah, he's be a very gentle man.
And Guevorkian, 123 victories in 150 outings, 2.5 times as many fights as McEneaney's had, and he's going to have to start using that extra experience now, because McEneaney is fancying this, isn't he?
He certainly looks that way. Obviously, for both of these competitors, the pressure's increased tremendously. Get into the 16th round, the quarterfinals now, and the possibility of earning a medal. Everything is on the line, so no one wants to take too much of a serious risk.
Yes, this is the fight they can't afford to lose. You win this one and you're guaranteed a minimum of a bronze. And who knows, with a bit of good fortune, it could be better than that. So the pace now hotting up, the stakes are getting higher.
Sometimes also there's a tendency to, if this one doesn't want to commit oneself, it's easy to take the foot off the gas and try to find an easy way to the pot of gold, so to speak.
Well, I did mention that Guevorkian was more experienced and he'd had to use that here, and that's exactly what he's doing. Takes a good right hook, though, from McEneaney.
At this moment, though, I think that McEneaney is very much in control. He's executing the better punches. He seems to be landing the more cleaner shots. Hopefully they're scoring.
Yes, it's once again quite a close round.
Notice no one is actually throwing a jab. They're just toying with it, using it as a leverage, rather than to use it itself effectively.
Well, I've got a feeling that Guevorkian's winning this third round.
You can hear McEneaney's corner advise them to use that left hand more often.
Yeah, but Guevorkian does score with a good right there. Feint, make him miss and throw the left hand was the advice to McEneaney. Well, that's about how I saw it. So McEneaney falls way behind now. I say way behind. Those 3 points can be awfully hard to get back. So Guevorkian of Armenia, using that extra experience and know-how to put McEneaney in second place here in round 3, and that's a big round for him, isn't it?
Yes, it certainly is, and as you said early on, it could be a very huge gap to try to close, and especially in the latter half of the fight.
But it's also fair to say that Guevorkian just earned himself 3 points in that round, and it's possible that McEneaney could also earn 3 points in the next round to make it dead level with 2 minutes to go. And then what?
And what? But he most certainly have to go out on a limb to try to achieve that gap in scores. So,
penultimate round, then round 4. So Eugene, one of 3 Irish entrants, looking to keep the Irish interest going. Guevorkian, one of 8 from Armenia.
it's almost as if each boxer is just predominantly focusing on scoring on the headshots.
Well, they've been told, obviously, Adrian, that, it's not worth wasting energy on body punches, and very difficult to wear a man down with body shots over 5 rounds, 5-2s especially. So the judges are looking for head punches, end of story. And they're really, it's terribly hypocritical of the ABA. They're trying to make the sport safer by introducing head guards, which of course is a very moot point. But to then make the target area exclusively the head, surely that goes against the grain.
It surely does go against the grain. It also, in a way, indirectly makes the boxer into a robot.
And this is not a bad round now for McEneaney. Looks like he might be doing the right thing here. I've got a feeling that that corner for Armenia have said, look, don't get involved.
Yes,
You've got a 3-point lead, stay away.
He should have taken a defensive stance in this round. He's moving laterally, he's being, you know, in and out, just on the back feet, trying not to get too involved physically. Oops. Scoring there while the referee stops. That could be very serious.
Can be a serious offence on occasion. This referee, like we remarked earlier, you know, this referee, like so many of the referees we're seeing here in this particular competition, someone's had a word in their ear.
Yes,
don't be so silly in future, I think someone said to them. Don't be like your brethren of the past couple of championships, because they have managed single-handedly, haven't they, to really ruin the sport, the referees, and they've actually been very good.
Yes. At times they can be very stringent, very authoritative. But we're able to see these guys. Oh, beautiful left hand.
I reckon McEneaney's done very well there. Oh, what a shame. What a pity. So still 4-1 then. Sorry, 4-2 now. 4-2. After 4 rounds. Well, Eugene's got chances, hasn't he? But not very many.
You sure have to put it all out in the last round now.
I mean, great punches like that. That must have been the only punch they scored.
Yes.
That is a pity.
Guevorkian, he seems a little exhausted coming into the last round. He's buffing very heavily.
There's the timekeeper. He's the man who strikes the bell at the appropriate moment.
The man with the easiest job.
Oh, I wouldn't say that.
Easiest job compared to the guys he's looking at.
Put it this way, every timekeeper I've ever spoken to says we never get appreciated fully, you know. Anyway, here we go then for the 5th and final round. Eugene McEneaney needs 2 points. And he needs a kind countback if he's going to win this one. McEneaney, of course, from Ireland, in the red. I think he's done very well. It's been hard to score. In fact, hard to separate them, hasn't it, on occasion?
And yes, they both have very similar styles. They're both very thinking boxers. Obviously, McEneaney has been advised he needs to close the gap now, so he's coming on very aggressively in the last round here.
Yeah. There's certainly not much between them.
The problem again, that coming in, rushing in, is the possibility of getting scored yourself.
Yes, and it does look like Guevorkian can equally counterpunch just as effectively as he can going forward, as he proved, in fact, in round 3. He went forward, was the aggressor, took the points, and since then he stood back and counterpunched.
He'll be cautioned for his head movements there, too low below the waist.
Once again, Guevorkian there bending just a bit too low, and he can ill afford a point deduction at this stage, courtesy of a public warning. That'll cost him 2 points if it happens, and he's already had 2 warnings. The referee won't want to give another. Well, he's done it. Will he give him? Well, he's let him get away with that, didn't he?
Well, he's got caution pulling the head down this round, that time, so not necessarily going below the waist.
Okay. Yes, that's a good point. Different offence. Well, Guevorkian doing all he can here to survive and maintain his lead without taking any risks, but he's in danger of falling foul of the referee.
Yes. They're both are tied at the moment too, so you'll see a lot of that now, you know, with the holding and the warnings.
Just a few seconds to go then in the final round. Has the Irishman done enough, Adrian?
Oh, at this moment, doesn't look that way.
Well, it's too late now for any of us. Oh, well, 6-3, bad luck then. Eugene McEneaney goes out after the quarter-final, and that's a great pity for him, but good effort. Good effort. 1 round, in fact, made the difference, didn't it? Round 3.
Yes.
Made all the difference. This man won 3 points in round 3. And as I said, you know, looking at them, there wasn't a great deal to pick between these two lads. But, well, one has to win, and one has to lose. So there you are then. Gevorkian declared the winner. A.Guevorkian beating E.McEneaney. That's a shame for Eugene, but good experience for him, I'm sure. And it was a close fight, no doubt about that. But Gevorkian, does he look like gold medal to you?
Well, he sure has medal contentions now. He's, you know, let's see if he can sustain that.
Coming up then, we have Gortat of Poland. Aslan Erjman is his opponent. We are going to take a short break. We hope you'll be back very shortly.